I think I'm the only one that's been down this road before. I got to tell you. So this is how Little Eagle, and this is how we begin. It's no different than riding the horse. There are ways that we begin to get alert and become aware and really embrace the change and not immediately go into resistance, but begin to look at it differently. There she is. So I would ask you this: what changes are you willing to make to have the life that you say that you want? You thinking? Anybody else? I would really encourage you to write that down. That is a very, very important question, because we are always saying what we want. This is what I want my life to look like. Well, if you're not writing it down, this is what we know about writing, so that you can begin to get what it is you want. We're so quick to say, I never get what I want. I never get what woe is me. Nobody likes me. Everybody hates me. I'm going out and eat a worm. My mother taught me that at a young age. And she used to sing it to me a lot. And then I read in the paper the other day, this teacher made a bet with her kids and ended up having to eat worms. And thank goodness that didn't happen to me. But these are the things that we want to be aware of, and most people don't even know what they want. So when you can figure out what you want, and then you can write down what that would look like, then you can get closer to having the life that you say that you want. So these are some questions to ask yourself. What is changing in my life that I am currently resisting? Did they not give y'all a pencil and paper? Anybody that's writing right now gets 50,000 points. The second one, why am I resisting the change? What am I afraid of with respect to this change? Because there's always something we're fearful of. Let's say it's about moving. If I move, I'm going to have to find a new cleaners. I mean, that's real scary. And I'm also going to have to find a grocery store. I mean, there's, how far am I going to be from work? This sounds, and I kind of laugh as I say it, but the truth is, those are the kind of things that we use to keep us resistant in making change. I have a client that just landed a position, and she had written down, what we do in the beginning when I coach my clients is we write down what it is you want. She wrote down what it is she wanted. We had a template so that when she decides whether or not they're going to accept a job, we can look at that and see how many things on what she wants is she willing to have in the new position. And in this one, out of 8 things that she said that she wanted, she was getting 3. And she admitted that the reason why she was taking the job, even though it only gave her 3 of her wants, is because she was tired. When people say that, I think of Nelson Mandela, sitting in a prison 27 years going, I'm tired. I think I'm just going to lay down and check out of this. We have not built up our muscles, and muscles are built through resistance. That's how we build muscle. It's the same thing in our lives and in our careers and in our relationships, that through resistance we are building that muscle, but when we resist, then we have to release. We resist and then we release. It's part of that process. Then another one is, why am I afraid? What am I afraid might happen to me? Will my husband leave me? Will I have to buy a new car? Will the company fall apart if I'm not there to hold it together for them? We think of these things. What is the payoff for keeping things the way they are? Because, a lot of times, and I've been there, we get really caught in victim. I was pathetic. I got to tell you. Oh, woe is me, nothing's working, nothing I ever do works, blah, 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 blah. And finally, I just got tired of hearing myself, and my sister said to me, God bless her, so when are you going to get sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired? And I'm going, whoa. kind of like this record I've been playing for a long time. It gets me a lot of sympathy, empathy. People talk to me, they like me, and I keep telling them the same story. Now I'm noticing they don't come back so often anymore. So these are the things that we want to start paying attention to. And what are the benefits maybe in this change? We usually don't look at those. So what could be the benefit, and what would you have to do to cooperate with that change? What steps would you have to take in order to be able to ride the horse through this change in a way that serves you? And what is the next step you could take to cooperate, and when will you take it? When we say, when will you take it, we usually start hyperventilating. Oh my God, I got to do something. Oh my gosh, I got to do something. So these are the things that we want to start to look at. And that's what it's about, is breaking patterns. How have we done things in the past? How are we going to do it differently? So these are the things that first, you can't change what you don't know. So you have to answer those questions first as to how and why you resist the change. Once you begin to understand that, then what can happen is then you can make changes that you're consciously making and that are not going to sneak up on you. It's the red flag effect, I can tell you. I had a client, and what he was saying is, you know, it's a really good company, Cecilia, but they don't have the this and they don't have the that, and, you know, it's in San Antonio, and my family doesn't want to move, and so, you know, and I'm sitting there going, you know, that's a red flag. And he's saying, oh, I just feel a breeze. Let me tell you what, that's setting ourselves up for a change that's going to kick us if we are not there conscious as to what's happening. So when he realized it was a red flag, he could say, I don't choose to go with this company, and I'm not going to court with them anymore. Now I'm going to make a new choice. So we have a say in our change, but only if we're conscious. You can't change what you don't know, so if we stay in denial of not wanting to know that the company's getting shaky, or not wanting to know that the company that you keep hearing rumors the company is going to have a layoff, or, in fact, every time I work with a client who's been through a layoff, I say, was this a surprise? Oh no, it's been coming for 2 years. Well, what were you doing during that time to prepare? I was going to work. Do you see how we check out on ourselves? There were things that could have been going on and happening in preparation, but we go into, excuse me, I don't see that. I don't see that big red flag. I don't see the red flag. So, another thing I would say that's real important, which is the opposite of what you hear, which we are always doing, aren't we? Just don't do anything. That's when you give yourself that quiet time to do that processing that you do so well. Y'all know how to process information, but why don't you just sit and not process anything and just be with yourself and ask yourself, what is it I want? What does it look like? What does it taste like? What would make me happy? What would make my family happy? And then getting past the fear, because then we say, well, I can't have what I want. And then we shut it down again. So begin to think about just being there. And then learn to say, really? Really? And you know who you say that to? You say that to the naysayers. Those are the people that are going to come in and they're going to go, you can't have that dream. You can't have that job. They don't hire people like you. You got to have a master's. You got to have a PhD. You got to have a this. You got to have a that. And let me tell you what, if you buy into that, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Let me tell you what, I have a member in my family, and she was going after a new job, and she kept saying, but Auntie Cecilia, Auntie C, that would be me. And she said, I don't have a degree. I don't have a degree. I said, do you want a degree? No. Are you going to go after a degree? No. Well, then we have to deal with the reality that you have right now, and that is you have no plans to do that, so we can't put that on your resume. But do you know what we can do? We can work on how you see it, how you perceive it, and we're going to show the incredible background you have. And we put it together, and guess what? For the first time in her career, she broke 6 figures. She was with the company, and within 6 to 8 months, she was made chief of staff. And then she was with the company for that, I think it was 4 or 5 years, and then guess what? Company changed again, moved out their top management, and she was back, but guess what? She was like this. I don't have a degree. Now, she wasn't cocky, and she wasn't arrogant, but guess what? She ended up with one of the big 4.